And this is race 3 of the Integrity Ignite series, following an amazing first two, and we are looking forward to the show going into what was once dubbed as the action track. This is Richmond Raceway, and it is 7/8 of a mile, and we will have 150 miles to decide our winner of the third race of the season. Thank you all for stopping by. It's David Kortz, Andrew Schulte on the controls for tonight's event as we look at pit road, and as we speak, a multitude of drivers on pit road, ready to get it started here at the Pro Powder and Paint 150. We get the ticker up on your screen because timing and scoring already a big factor. It looks like 40 seconds remaining here in practice, and Anthony DeBarro is fastest on the board by a decent margin over the remainder of the field. You can see Thomas Bresci there in the 6th spot. Ethan Lane, defending winner. He won at Rockingham with a last lap battle with Bresci. He's in 11th on the board, so a lot of storylines heading into tonight's event here as we get the show on the road for the third time this season. Michael Stroll came up as the victor in the clash. At the end of the day, not able to get it done at Daytona. And now, of course, Ethan Lane winning at Rockingham. It's all about the here and the now, as Richmond is the shortest track we've been to this season for the shortest race we're going to have this season up to this point. So certainly a lot on the line as everyone gets prepped. Practice is over, and we will be heading already into the qualifying procedure as an exciting race we will have, and a total of, I believe now, up to 43 drivers getting ready, as there's still some time to register for this session, and the regulars of this series are already prepped to go at it here in Richmond, Virginia. As we have qualifying on the board already, let's look at who's on and who is not. And as you can see, at the moment, nobody on the track just yet. So how do we get a focus on one of these guys? Because I'm certain that these guys are on the track, and there looks to be the faint outline of the Cody Griffin machine. Griffin in the 3 on pit road right now, not moving, and that is going to be the 4 of Casey Shu. Shu in the 213 sim winner drive, already on the move, making the drive to get him to the top of the board. Let's get the intervals on the ticker and see what's going on, see who's got the pace and who does not as we get this thing started. You can see Wood there, Boomer, Logan, Brad, Patton coming back, and Casey Shu gonna squirrel off just a bit. We have it on the roll. Casey Shu coming down to the strike this time by first of a total of 2 time laps before we get this show rolling, and Shu's going to come right out, and rolling the momentum is a major part of this circuit. Richmond, a very short track, but it has a lot more banking than other short tracks. Say, for instance, Martinsville or the regulars on the short track circuit with a quarter mile that we have, what have you. River has one in New York. There's many others across the country. Legends Ovals as well. So with the banking, it's all about rolling the momentum nice and smooth. As right now, Casey Shu about 20th on the board. Ethan Lane going to be 6 seconds back in lap number 1. And Shu looks to be done and done as we're going to try to focus on yet another driver. Shu's going to be down off the board, and there's Michael Stroll in number 38 machine. Stroll had a powerful run to the clash, trying to back up the early results, as it looks like he's going to be done and done with his run there, and going to be off the board. Justin Morton in the 9, looking to get something better than last week with a 9 Supra. Going to come right down to the back straightaway and using every inch of that surface. That's the name of the game for the driver of that 9. If you can't use all of it, you're going to be in a load of trouble. As you can see, he's making his way around, going to come down to the start-finish line. So Morton puts himself in 16th there with 7 minutes remaining. Brian McFarland, the number 7 there, on the way as well. And it looks like he's actually going to be done and done. Gail Brooks in 28th. Cody Griffin now going to be in 26th. As everyone continues to shuffle. Looks like some guys choosing to just put a lap on the board. Ethan Lane put one on the board very far back in the pack. Let's see if that's going to stay there. Cal Filarski in the 6th spot, and Ethan Lane goes to the top of the board with Third Horse in there in second. And Third Horse, as a matter of fact, now going to be a runner-up as Ethan Lane looks to have it on the top, and he was the winner last week. So now he might be able to get it done once again. Lane's got a lot of promise and a lot of speed, and he could be one of the guys to focus on as the season goes on. And I talked to some drivers beforehand, before we got the season underway. As a matter of fact, I think I talked to them even before Daytona, and they said Ethan Lane, part of the group of guys who are absolutely worth the watch. And it looks like right now, showing that is for certain. It is the driver of the 26 machine, Ethan Lane, top of the charts as it is, and certainly going to be one of those guys to look out for. Matthew Thunhorse looks to be second on the board right now, and the number 8 has a lot of promise and a lot of pace as well. As you can see, different drivers adapting to the different styles of tracks. Daytona, of course, it's any man's race. They always say the draft, the pack, it balances everyone else, as it looks like nobody on the circuit just yet. Justin Anderson, we were trying to get a look at there, and we will see whether or not anyone's going, because as it is, looks like the 75 machine going to be on there. That's Chuck Sweeting, and Sweeting trying to make a sweet ride out of it. It's a 75 right now on pit road. Alan Rowell going to put it in 37 there. Braxton DeWeese down into position 38, as it looks like DeWeese has not put in a lap yet, and Thunhorst is in second. So how do we get a word for the driver in position number 1? Ethan Lane right now is an awful lot of time, and we would try to drag him down into the broadcast booth. And that is what we will do. Driver to the number 26, Ethan Lane, looks to have it on the top of the board for a good amount of time so far in qualifying, and we're going to drag him in right here, right now. Ethan Lane, number 26, machine top of the chart as it stands. So how are you feeling going into the Pro Powder and Paint 150?
Feeling good. The set's kind of wonky. Wants to roll over on the left rear going on entry corner and then edge it as well, so that's going to create some chaos, I think. But overall, I think we're sitting pretty as clean air. I think it's going to be really important today.
And going to be a very important race when it comes to clean air, as you said, and going to be a much different race than what we've seen beforehand. Daytona, a much longer track than this. Rockingham, it's a mile and a half, but very bumpy. So how's it going to be managing our first short track of the season, and what will that bring for the drivers at hand?
Managing tempers. That's gonna be the big thing tonight. Not overdoing anything early in the race. Just trying to find a rhythm, and once you find that rhythm, just stay in it until either we get a yellow or we get the checkered flag.
And how about it? As you said, the yellow going to be one of those things we might just see a lot. Short track tempers bring out short track cautions, and we've seen that a lot on iRacing tonight. Might just be the case. How's it going to be managing cautions and how they impact strategy? Because certainly could impact fuel runs, could impact tires. What's it going to take to keep yourself ahead of the mix, even if something comes in your way?
It's going to be interesting for sure. I say if we go, I'm not sure the tire sets we have tonight. I think it's like 4 maybe. But it's going to be like controlling that. If you get a 10-15 lap run, you might want to stay out to keep the track position, because getting through the field is going to be that hard. If you have 30-40 lap run, you might want to come in and pit. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how tire strategy plays out tonight.
And certainly looking forward to what could be a balancing act in every factor of this race. We've got about 4 minutes on the charts here, so it looks like still some time for drivers to get in some laps, but it looks like as it stands, we don't see you on the track. So how much do you think practice impacts it? Because we see some guys stay on the track for quite a while, but it looks like right now you're just taking it easy and giving yourself a few minutes to prepare for this one.
Practice is important. We turned a few laps while practice was going on. I kind of got a feel for the setup, how it's going to run after 10-15 laps, seeing which direction it's going to go. And yeah, so just kind of waiting till the calm before the storm hits.
And certainly waiting for it, but it looks like the calmest spot to be in on the grid, Ethan Lane, as it stands top of the board as we head into our third race of the season. Any final thoughts?
Hopefully we can get a long green flag run tonight. Be fun.
And there we have it, Ethan Lane, top of the board in qualifying. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Gonna drag him right back into his voice chat there. Chuck Sweeting still on the track, waiting to get his run on, but it looks like he is out of the car. Ethan Lane still top of the board here as we try to focus on the guys. Adam Wood is right now on the track in the 45 machine. It's crumpled up, but it's still going, so Wood certainly knows what he has in mind. Getting some extra laps. Wood is a quite beat up car, but Wood has something going on here as the 45 machine still rounding the turns, and while damaged, he is on the move. And it looks like right now he might be the only driver going at full pace right now. No other driver appears to be on for a lap, and that's going to be the name of the game. Practice. Blake Gordon, as it stands, also on the track, so it looks like some guys choosing to keep themselves up and on it, but Adam Wood has a whole lot of damage, so it looks like still getting practice, even if that is the case. We'll try to get a word from a guy we haven't heard from all season long. And I think the next one we're going to look at is the driver of the number 25 machine in Nick Terablich. Right now, it looks like he is third on the board as we have a total of about 2 minutes on the clock remaining. And we will get a word from the driver currently third on the board. Driver, the number 29 machine, going to be position number 3, rounding at the podium in qualifying so far. Nick Tarabuch, going into tonight's event at Richmond, how do you feel?
Hey, man, I'm feeling pretty good. I came into the session feeling kind of rough, but through some laps of practice and into qualifying here, I've actually picked it up a little bit, so I'm not feeling too bad.
And certainly picking it up quite a lot. If you're explaining it as picking it up, you're third on the board right now and off a lot of great competition. So a lot of drivers to look out for, and you look to be one of them. So when it comes to picking it up, how will it be racing this track? Rockingham, we got into beforehand. That's a very track-dependent sort of racing circuit. You got a lot of bumps, got a lot of certain pavement formations, but Richmond, it's one of those different short tracks, a lot more banking, and you got to use momentum to your advantage. So how's it going to be playing it out with the track as well as the other drivers?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot about managing your rear tires. I'm going to try to focus on not, spinning them on exit too much. I think you can really mess up your long run pace by doing that. And this is honestly not one of my favorite tracks that we go to. So I'm just going to try and keep it clean, really focus on having a good, consistent race, and just try to keep all 4 tires on the car by the end of the night.
And it looks like we've seen some guys already mention us. It could be chaotic, and certainly looks like you're saying all 4 wheels on the track are to be a goal here. So how much do you expect when it comes to the chaos of tonight's event here at Richmond?
Well, I'm thinking up front it'll be a pretty close race. I think it's going to be a lot of good racing like we had last week in the top 10, top 15-ish. But I think as we get towards the back, and especially as we start lapping cars, and there's a lot of pace difference in the guys passing versus the ones being passed. I think there might be a little bit of a learning curve there. I'm not sure we've had too much lap traffic to deal with so far this season. And I think that a lot of people are going to either spin it off a 2 or loop it going into the corners. In fact, I've been known to do that myself. So we'll see what happens.
And we will see indeed. Drivers going to get on their way to grid. So here we go again. Thank you once again, Nick Tarabuch. Any final thoughts?
Hey, man. Have a good one. Thank you.
And there we have it, Nick Tarabuch. Hope to have a good one as well, rolling off third. So thank you for your time. I'm going to drag you on air so you can get yourself back to your team. And there we have it. Tarabuch on the way, and Chuck Sweeting right now we see up in front. He's on the track right now, but let's get the grid into frame as guys getting new paint schemes loaded on. So that's why some of these guys appearing all white, and they will be loading in as we speak momentarily. So let's get your starting grid on the way for tonight's show here in the Pro Powder and Paint 150. It's going to be one of those great ones to watch. Richmond always produces great racing, and we are more than excited for it as we get this show on the road. And let's get it started. Ethan Lane, top of the board, and he will be first with Matthew Thunhorst in second. Nick Tarabuch is in third, and Anthony DeBarro is in fourth, with Chuck Sweet in position number 5 and Chad Cole in 6. Braxton Luis is going to be in 7th, and TJ Stagner's in 8th, with Michael Stroll in position number 9, and Jacob Anderson is not on the track, but it's Justin Anderson in the 76, who is in position number 10. Then it's going to be Cody Smith in the 11th spot, and then Rob Ackley in 12th. Then from there on out, Timothy Johnston and Justin Morton. And following the both of them, it is going to be in positions 15 and 16, Jacob Fife and Traeger Trago. Then, following them in row number 9, it's going to be Brian McFerrin and Tyler Hensley. And rounding out the top 20, 19th and 20th, it will be Don Stevenson and Thomas Bresci, as it's going to be 20th with a 22.293. Cody Griffin in 21st, and Chad Micus going to be in the 25 machine, position number 22. Row number 12 going to consist of the drivers after them, and those 2 drivers are going to be Joe Dinsmore and Daniel Foss. Daniel Foss is going to have a fast ride here tonight as we look at the remainder of the field. Let's go through them just a bit quicker here. Row 13 next up, and it will be following Daniel Foss and Joe Dinsmore. It looks like, as we get it on time and scoring here, positions number 25 and 26 consist of... Looks like they're going to give us a bit of trouble for this one. How about that? It will be Kyle Cooper and Brad Patton, with Brandon Bernhardt in 27th, Forrest Smith 28th, Adam Wood in 29th, and Blake Gordon in 30th. Then Brandon Wencher 31st, Casey Shue 32nd, and Shaney Weeks 33rd, and Gail Brooks in 34th, Boomer Logan in 35th. And then from there on out, it's going to be the drivers of Todd Thomas, Jonathan Girvin, then Don Runkle, Cal Falarski, and in 40th, Alan Rodwell, Alan Dobbs in 41st, and from there on out, it will be the final set of drivers including Justin Terry. So 42 drivers in the main event in the Braxton Louise fan club of the way as the green flag's out, led by Ethan Lane. Here we go, the pro pattern away, 150 grids over. Now it's time for the big time racing, and Lane leads into the back straightaway. Ethan Lane's got a hell of a run there. He's going to be able to keep it intact. As we go into the first lap, nothing out of the ordinary just yet, and everyone's able to hold on to it strong as we say hello to lap number 2 in due time, and due time we have found it. Is everyone going up to the high side already? 30 viewers, we're on the cusp of it. Got to thank each and every one of you as we are getting this show on the road. You see double fire in the middle of the back of the pack as well. These guys are getting intense, and we look to the back of the pack, have multiple cameras on the situation. Timothy Johnson right now running in the 14th spot, and it looks like the first top 15 guys, well, they are going to be single file. Jacob Fife now going to be side by side with Trevor Trago. Thomas Bresci going to be side by side with Stevenson as we look up to the Michael Stroll battle with DJ Stagner and the 76 machine of Justin Anderson. Right now, these guys up front, they would hold on to it quite nicely. 3 laps in at a 150. The move, it's going to be up to the high side for the driver, the number 76. Nobody in his way there. He's just going to be able to hold on quite nicely. Great for him, because we have a lot of drivers having their fans in chat. How about it for the drivers? Such as Braxton Louise, got a lot of fans there. Doug Middendorf, Kelly Allen, Allen's Art Images, Chris Louise, Doug Middendorf again, and Terry Hopkins. Thank you all for stopping by as the race is getting started. Ethan Lane leads us now to lap number 5. And how about these guys up front? They're able to hold on to it quite nicely. Nobody in their way just yet, as Lane has a one right behind him. That is a close battle, as it looks like Matthew Thunner was going to lose one spot there, and Thunner was going to have to hold on to position number 3 right now, and the intensity in the middle of the pack is gearing up as Chad Cole is a 2-car battle right behind him. And moving on, Justin Carey in the 42nd spot. Every driver separated by only 10 seconds. As it looks like now, Anthony DeBarra in the number 27 machine looking to make something happen. He's almost there on Ethan Lane, and the top 2 drivers, they are moving ferociously. 6 laps in out of 150. The 26 and the 27 are on a tear here, and they will continue to roll in and out like it's nothing. Sliding in and sliding out. The drivers of this series, the Integrity Ignite series, move on to lap 7. New leader, Anthony DeBarro, and Ethan Lane just playing it cool right now. He did lose the lead early in Rockingham, so he's not too unfamiliar with the situation of losing it early, because it's all about where you finish. It isn't always about where you start. A track position track, we've seen it sometimes. Richmond turns out to be one, but right now, no matter how this race turns out, 8 laps in. And number 27 is the man in position number 1. You can see it's a tear being put on the single file action up front. It looks like the top 20 guys are going to be single file. Let's go back to a driver like Thomas Bresci. Look back into the further section of the field outside of those first 20. The 24 machine action now going to be up to 16th. They are oh so close. You can see Bresci there in the Exalted number 24 making his first run with the yellow numbers. And you saw Bresci was double file there. Timothy Johnson going to be right in front of him alongside Jacob Fife, and single file they move. And here is inside with the driver of the number 82 in Johnston, Jacob Fife right there. And it looks like right now everyone getting filed up in one long line. You want to keep it straight, keep it consistent, as it is led by the driver of the number 82 machine here, and he's holding on incredibly well as he's going to be able to keep himself in line right now. Michael Stroll going to be up in 6th, going to be able to fight quite hard and making it happen. And you can see Johnston with Fife, and there they go. Michael Stroll going to be up in almost the top 5. The next guy is going to have to pass to make it up there. It is going to be Chuck Sweeting, and Sweeting, knowing that, is just going to have to hold on right now because he's holding quite nicely to the rear end of the Terrabush machine. That inside seam has all the momentum in the world. We mentioned Richmond is a momentum track, and if you're not able to hold it quite nicely, you are going to lose spots. Stroll that time by, not the best exit. The draft is going to be the thing that keeps him in. And coming down to the stripe there, once again, you can see these boys are moving as Sweeting just gets it there on that yellow line, and that is all she wrote. If you can't get it there, you are not going to be able to make anything happen. As riding on board with Stroll, you can see it is especially intense. You're going to pull it away from the onboard cameras right here. Try to find another double file battle on the circuit. And Michael Stroll right now up in the front of this pack, the good majority of this pack to say the least. As we look further and further back, there's going to be the driver of the number 25 machine, Chad Michaels, getting right by Trevor Trago. And the bumper gets put to Michaels there, and it's getting oh so close. These guys up front or in the middle of the pack are fighting like it's not the last lap to say the least, but they're fighting pretty intense, and they are fighting with respect. Respect the name of the game here on iRacing. And even if it is virtual, the racing is real, and the passion that these guys have for putting on a great race, well, it's evident. Right now, they're putting on yet another. As they're able to keep it nice and cool, make it a very respectful battle. As right now, you can see the 05 machine of Alan Dobbs going to get right by Girvin and Alan Rowell. And Rowell now going to have to pick up the scraps. The 43, we're going to go inside of the 33 and make it so. As coming down to the stripe, it will be to the edge of the driver of the number 43 machine. Rowell picks up the spot. Alan Dobbs takes 2. And it looks like the 33 going to be the big loser out of that one. Unfortunate situation. Michael Dewell coming into the chat as well. Thank you for stopping by, as it's a great crowd to have. If you have a favorite driver, be sure to let them know, because it's all about supporting your guys out here. And the guy to support for the leading group, well, it's Anthony DeBarro pulling away from Ethan Lane. Matthew Thunhorst there as well. And Nick Tarabuch in position number 4. And look at the run right now, because it looks like the driver of the 27 machine has his own world. As you can see, Ethan Lane in second, and behind them, well, it's going to be the driver of Thunhorst. And Thunhorst having a great run. He got a lot of speed, the 8 machine does. Ended up on the podium last week, coming home in, I believe, the 3rd position behind the Bresci and Ethan Lane battle. So a lot of potential for the driver of the number 8 machine. And Matthew Thunhorst will use that to his advantage and keep himself in the mix here, as he's right behind Ethan Lane. He's going to get himself into a scrap for another victory, and it might turn out in his favor this time, because a lot of laps could tick down before we get to the show here. We will see how it all plays out. As 18 laps in out of 150, we roll on and single foul throughout the good majority of the pack, but that does not mean this is not exciting racing. Everyone right now formulating their strategy, formulating their way of getting around the trap, lap in, lap out. As it looks like the 18 machine going to be side by side with Jacob Fife. Timothy Johnston there. It's going to be a close battle with the 36 and the 82. As we look back there, they are much more clustered in the middle of the pack. As you can see, Johnston and Jacob Fife have been on each other about every single lap. And they are oh so close once again. Coming down to the stripe, they were just about bumper to bumper. Right now they're not. It's right in front of them. Rob Ackley is going to be in that position. Battle of the 76 with Anderson. And there it is, a battle right in front of them. It will be the driver of the number 76 fighting with the number 22. Ackley, I believe, coming home as your Daytona winner. And how about that for the driver of the 22 machine, looking to defend some victory and victorious prowess, as the 22 goes down to the inside line, and Justin Morton now fights the 76. 20 laps in right now. We can see some guys getting dicey. DJ Stagner, they're going to be side by side with the 18. And they're all holding on quite nicely here. But the 18 going to have to begrudgingly give that one to Stagner if he loses any momentum. And right now, begrudging it is. Nobody here wants to give away even an inch. As riding on board, watching the 2x2 battle, 2 rows deep. Stagner gets the edge on the 18 and able to make it happen. How about that for DJ Stagner? Now, Jacob Fife to pick up the stats. Fight. And oh so close, 22 laps in out of 150. Double five with the 9 to the 76 machine, and here we go. Moving on through, as now some guys are brushing up into the wall. I believe Stagner and Fife might have caught a bit of it there. Justin Morton going to be in the mix as well, and they're all moving side by side once again, and it looks like the 9 machine going to be able to get it right nicely. As you can see, Justin Anderson having to hold on there with the U.S. Postal Service number 76, having someone go right down to this inside line, and it won't be a shipment, won't be a send, but it's going to be a nice respectful move from the driver of the 64 machine on the Postal Service number 76. Double file there. Looks like Timothy Johnson going to be laying back as the Pro Powder and Pate number 36 of Jacob Fife right behind the battle that we're watching right now right beside it. As the 36 goes right by, and Jacob Fife has that momentum that we were speaking about earlier. Look at that. Fife's got it. He's on a roll here. He's able to make it happen like so. Jacob Fife in the Triple P machine able to take up a position. Now looking to make it 3 in 1 lap. He's right behind Stagner, almost getting bumper to bumper there. And while it is close, it's going to be no cigar that time by 76 and the 64. Get a much better run as the 76 hits right into the wall. DJ Stagner going to have to hold on and combat it. As you can see, Justin Anderson gets a piece of that wall, and there's some right side damage to go off of it. You can see a bit scraped up on the quarter panel. Not going to be major damage, but certainly going to be stuff that he does not want to have. Any minor misgrievance, or rather misconception related to aerodynamics work, it's not going to work out in your favor. So having anything right now, not good, and certainly not something desirable, as right now Thomas Bresci going to be in a side-by-side battle as well, only for a moment. It looks like now it's going to be right behind him. Thomas Bresci barely on frame right now, and he's catching up very close to this battle right now. And Bresci with a lot of pace, looking to show it as he's clawing through the field. There's the 36 machine, and you can see right out of frame is the 24 of Bresci. So right now, a lot of guys making a lot of moves, trying to make it so here. As double file, the 36 and 76 machines still are. How do we check up on your leader right now? The leader, it is still the driver of the number 27 machine, Anthony DeBarro. But right now, Ethan Lane is closing in. Lane might just have that long run car he's been looking for. The long run car makes all the distance in a race that looks to be clean and green, like the one we've seen so far. If you're not able to make it clean, well, it certainly doesn't look like you'll have a race at all. But right now, these guys giving us the product we love to see. Talented drivers doing their thing, and it's evident that that is so. As 28 laps in out of 150. Coming down the stripe once again, the gap is about 0.3 of a second here as the 27 leads the 26. But look at that, Ethan Lane is gaining in big time. Let's go check back in on Ethan Lane once again, because Lane has a lot of pace now. As side-by-side, Anderson goes with the 18, but there's going to be a battle for the lead, and I do believe they're going to get close to a lead change. They're side-by-side for the lead, and Ethan Lane going to be able to take it on the inside line with the barrel right there, and it's going to be a solid job. Not going to be able to make it happen as Lane loses that spot for only a moment, and now it has it again. DeBarro going to try to hold on down to the inside line. There goes Ethan Lane. This is for the race lead now, and he's got DeBarro right behind him, and you can see sliding it. That was the pass for the lead, and Ethan Lane is your race leader. The driver of the 26 machine looking to go back to back, as now he's pulling a gap on DeBarro. And we said beforehand, he was just laying back, making sure the driver of the 27 used up his stuff, and that is evident of the case that I made. And it looks like that is indeed what just happened. Ethan Lane, your race leader after 31 laps. And look at that, the Pro Powder and Paint 150 changing up a fifth of the way through. New race leader, it's the 26. Coming down the stripe, he gets it that time through, and DeBarro's losing a lot of time. And how about that? Top three guys getting oh so close side by side with Justin Morton there. And look at that. It's going to be the 9 to the 69 there, and the 69 trying to hold on quite nicely. He's going to be able to do so for only a moment, but now it looks like it's in the hands of Morton. And if we look into the rear view, you can see everyone in the back of the field. They are single file right now. And now it looks like it's going to be Alan Dobbs there with Cal Filarski. That's going to be the battle for just about position number 34. Filarski going to lose that spot that time through, and Filarski falls back one more. So not going to be a good run there for Cal, looking to get some more out of the car, but it's just not happening as it stands. And what looks a lot of time to pick up the pace so far. No cautions. Alan Dobbs gets into 33rd. As you can see, the 26 machine is on the razor's edge there. How about it? How about we take a lap uninterrupted with the driver of the number 26 machine and hear every single sound coming out of that machine that's leading the way 34 laps in. And the minute handwork is something to note as we go on. 35 laps in out of 150. We took about a lap there uninterrupted with the sights and the sounds. As you can see, Ethan Lane, a few observations. For one, and we mentioned it last week, Sebastian Vettel's Formula One helmet, a replica on iRacing. But I think the more important one, that's not just a racing tidbit, is the way he's using his hands to wheel that machine. Very minute, minimal handwork, and every single adjustment, it has a purpose outside of course, just keeping him on the track. You want to make sure that every single second you take on a circuit, it means something. And if he's able to make that happen time after time, he's able to extend that lead, and you can see he's just managing the track as well as he can and keeping it right on the bottom seam there. That is the key to victory. If you can hold on to that bottom, you can hold on to anything. Going to the high side will be jeopardy as the line is forming there. You want to put your left side under the slicker section of the circuit there, coming out of 3 and 4, as leading by about a second now. Almost out of frame the remainder of the field is, and we'll check back in on the pack right now. 38 laps in, no caution just yet, been a yellow-free race. 38 laps in, a great run so far, and as we say 38, how about we check on the driver of the number 38 machine, and Michael Stroll right now. He looks to be oh so close to a battle. That's going to be double file side by side. Michael Stroll getting up there, trying to get into position number 3, I believe. And he's going to make that happen if he's able to get this pass on Terabutch. And he is close, but not enough just yet. And it's going to be outside the top 5. Michael Stroll is right now looking for position number 5. He is, as he goes down to the stripe, oh so close to the seam there. And and trying to push his way in the 5th. He makes the door wide open for him. Just enough room to make it happen. Coming down the stripe, double foul. The 38 and the 29 are, and they go down rolling, and they're just able to make it happen. They are dead even going in, and the 38 is going to be able to hold on. Michael Stroll with the edge of momentum, and Nick Terrible, he's had that position for longer. Will he be able to defend like he's had it for longer? It looks like for now, the answer is no. Michael Stroll going to be dead even going into the 3rd and 4th turn, coming off to the stripe. Stroll has that advantage on the pavement. It's slicker down there, but not able to keep him in the position's lead. 5th position still going to be held by Terrible. Comes down to the inside line. Michael Stroll using everything he has got, putting himself in the position to make it happen, and it looks like he will be going down in a drag race once again. The back straightaway, the greatest place to get an advantage. If you're able to come off that exit just right, put yourself in the spot 3, you're just able to make a position happen like it is nothing. In a roundabout way, it's going to be Michael Stroll still holding on there, and the inside line might just be the only thing keeping him there. The distance, it is less on that inside, even if it is less momentum at times, but right now it looks like he just gets that barrel down to the back straightaway, and he might have to stick it in just a bit further than we saw beforehand. Is the 38 double file there with the 29. Once again, the battle for 5th rages on. They keep themselves just about dead even that time by. It looks like the 5 machine not in the mix, but the 38 does concede. As we talk about guys with single-digit numbers, Brad Patton in the 2 right now in a very intense battle with Chad Micus. Let's check on that right now. So look like Stroll going to have to wait back once more and make himself known at a later date. Brad Patton right now side by side with the 25, the 47 to Don Stevenson there as well. We'll check in on that as 45 laps in at a 150. They'll come to next time by. Look at this battle. 1-2. It looked like it was about 4 cars at one point, and right now it looks to be just a bit less as they go into the series of turns once again. 1 and 2. They're going to be able to make it happen. The 47 there with the 25, and they are dead even. This looks to be the tail end of the first pack, if not the second, and almost contact there. Mike is going to be able to get that inside line. Stevens are going to lose a lot of momentum and a lot of time on the outside as they come down to the strike once again. 45 laps in, and Micus now looks at a scene of dismay. They're about 3 wide right behind him. Don Stevenson there. Brad Patton going to almost go around. He taps them again, and they will go down and around. This could be caution number 1. 46 out of 150, and that it is. First yellow on the night. Brad Patton in the number 2. Let's get a quick replay, as that was a wreck waiting to happen there, as Patton just backs it into the wall once again. Instant replay on the matter, and we're slowing it down already. Patton there with a 47, and you could see the 7 machine gets right up there, and nothing more that can be done on board with Brad Patton. And Patton holding on for all he had, but he gets tapped, and he tries to save it. Not going to be able to make it happen as Patton falls to the bottom of the running order and makes that contact there, and just isn't able to hold on. Patton involved big time, and he's going to be the man who goes down to the inside the hardest. And how about that for the Toyota Supra number 2? As right now he looks to be 42nd on the board. That does not appear to be terminal damage. However, it is still big damage nonetheless. And he's going to lose a lot of spots as a result. So coming down to the stripe there, they were oh so close, and now it looks like too close for comfort as Brian McFerrin gets involved with Brad Patton, and Patton goes right around. They were 3 wide for quite a while. Oh, so close. Double file, almost triple file there. And when they got just about 3, well, that's when the wreck happened. So that is not what you want to see. 47 laps in out of 150. We went about the first third of this race, all clean and all green. So a great run so far, as we will back it up to the live feed and see what's going on now. As Brian McFerrin coming down pit road with a sea of drivers. It looks like it's going to be already the race off pit road as we get the pit road cam in. Brandon Bernhardt on his way. And there we have it. 81's on pit road. And look at this. Everyone on their way. Ethan Lane going to try to be the first guy off. And it looks like he is right there. The pole position stall right at the exit. He's out. Then it's going to be the 27 machine tomorrow. Then Thunhorse right behind there. Chuck Sweeting. Then it's going to be Tara Butch. Then Stroll. Then Patton there with Ackley. Then it's going to be, wow, a lot of drivers. As you can see, Fife went there with Johnston and Chad Micus. Now Braxton Luis. Anderson went beforehand. Forrest Smith gets right out there. Gail Brooks going to be side by side with Boomer Logan. Then McFarland with Bernhardt following them. It's going to be Cal Filarski, Joe Dinsmore, then Don Stevenson. And a lot of guys getting there. Double file, and it's a lot of concentration to focus on every one of them. So apologies for that quick fumble there. But what a group coming out there. And they were so close, side by side, double file, almost 3 wide on pit road. and that just shows how competitive these guys are no matter what the situation calls for. So how do we get a call in from a driver right now and see who's free and who is not? As Anthony DeBarro, one of the drivers we have not talked to just yet, and that is the driver for Dizzy Motorsports. Right now, it looks like he's gotten himself into a straight-up position. The driver of the 27 machine is currently second on the board. Anthony DeBarro having a great run so far. How do you feel as we have gotten through the first third of this race almost caution-free?
Good. I'm impressed that we didn't have any cautions. I kind of went hard there at the beginning, not expecting a lot of green flag runs. So I got to be a little more managed with my tires here, and I think I could be right there with Ethan.
And we did see you went very aggressive there, got a pretty big gap, but eventually Ethan Lane caught back up to you. So how important is the tire wear as we head right back into this one in just a few moments' time?
It definitely makes a difference. You can't be scrubbing them too much, but it also comes down to, is it going to be a bunch of short runs, or are we going to get long runs? So it's kind of luck of the draw with the cautions.
And caution number 1. So do you think this is going to be breeding another caution, or we could go about another 50 laps from here on out?
No, we're going to go green the rest of the way and put an awesome show on for you guys.
And there we have it, looking to go green all the way. So it looks like double file this time by 1 to green on the way. Any final thoughts? And going to try to ask once again, not sure if he has a copy there. Any final thoughts before we get back into the show?
Yeah, so hopefully put on a good show for you guys up in the booth and everyone watching, and we'll see what happens here. Shout out to Nick Cohan, he's watching on the broadcast.
And there we have it, Anthony DeBarro looking to get this one done second on the board. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys.
I'm going to drag him right back into his voice chat there. Get this one on the move as side by side the 26 and the 27 are as we get ready to get back into this one once again. Ethan Lane leading DeBarro as we head down to the stripe, this time by 7/8 of a mile, 150 laps. So it might be actually a little less than 150 miles tonight, but still great racing. And we got through that first 50 lap segment very, very quick. Let's get back to the show this time by first restart of the night. 51 laps in, becomes 52 by the 26. Green flag is out. Second run of the night. First run went well. Let's see how this one goes. So DeBarro going to be side by side with Thunhorse. He gets the edge. And double file they are from there on out. A quick battle from there, as it looks like some guy's going to pound the pavement there. Middle of the pack going to be side by side. How do we check in with it? As you can see, DJ Stagner there with Jacob Feitbeck going to be there with Timothy Johnston and Thomas Presley as they go down with the powder on it. Coming down to the stripe, 52 into the 150. Some guys scrape the wall. Not going to affect them all too much. As you can see, guys getting oh so close in the back of the pack. No caution just yet. Ethan Lane holds on. Caleb looks to be on his own. Gets into the wall a bit bigger than anyone else has so far. They are already on the power, and the power down they have indeed. As it looks like Furlbeck going to come on to the front of the back. He's going to say Alan Rowell looking to get to the front of the back. And thank you for stopping by. As you can see, side by side, Ackley is with Jacob Feist. And now it's going to be double file between DJ Stagner and Timothy Johnston. 54 laps in out of 150, and they're going to roll in once again. A 2x2. This is the great reset, and now drivers have a great opportunity to learn more about what it is on a short run and a long run once again. For some of these guys, it might have just been practice to get that first 50-odd lap run in and to get you more situated with how the car feels over the longer distances, as we were certainly not close enough to a pit cycle. Maybe this time by we will be, and we have the opportunity to get there as long as these guys are able to hold it straight. But as it stands, that is not the case just yet. Side by side, they still are 55 laps in. They almost 56 out of 150. And coming down to the line, once again, DJ Stagner there with Rob Ackley and Ethan Lane leads the remainder of the field by a nice margin so far. The 26 holding fort over the remainder of the drivers, 56 out of 150, holding on strong. You can see building up a gap once again. We'll get the intervals back on your screen to make sure you know when every driver is making the move and where they are, as Anthony DeBarro is going to have a lot of pressure there with Matthew Thunhorse on the rear bumper, and they're holding on quite strong as it stands. Coming down to the inside line, the 27 going to be there with the 8. As Lane is just on the move. He has his own lane, and he can go wherever he wants. He is cruising right now, and cruising solid. Is 57 laps in out of a total of 150. These guys are going to be side by side. That's going to be the number 21 machine of Justin Carey right beside the 5. And Carey going to try to keep it there. As Alan Rowell going to be in the mix, and it looks like Brandon Bernhardt right in front of them. And right behind him, it looks to be the driver of the number 37 machine in Trevor Trago. This looks to be the battle for about position number. Look at a quick check on it. You can see Cal Filarski there has been mired back in the middle of the pack all race long. This looks to be the battle for what is position number, according to timing and scoring, about position number 30-ish. And that's going to be what we're looking at right now. As you can see, the battle in the back of the pack, very intense no matter where they are. And now they get to move up just a few spots. It's the battle for about 25th. Boomer Logan going to go 3 wide with Cal Filarski. Brandon Bernard there as well as they keep fighting side by side. 3 wide for a moment, this time by no incident. And they keep it straight. 60 laps in out of 150. And now we're at about 91 laps remaining. Next time by, 90 to go. Is Gale Brooks from the 71 going to be able to hold on strong with the DeWalt number 71 back on the way. Boomer Logan holding on, defending not 1, not 2, but 3 lines. Shades of Dale Jr. with that National Guard paint scheme of the plate races. But right now, Richmond is able to defend like a lion and keep these guys right behind him. 90 laps remaining here at Richmond in the Pro Pounder Paint 150. Look at this momentum. The 94 machine able to take off as soon as he gets that optimal line, and caution is out once again. And we would try to find out just what caused this one, as this is going to be a big moment. Changing it all up, and it looks like some guys, such as Todd Thomas, Don Runkle, might have gotten into it. And you could see some guys getting smoke already. However, this does not appear to be when the incident occurred. We would get a quick look. Alan Dobbs there, and it looks like 33 gets all the way locked up at the wall. Oh, he comes down to Alan Dobbs, and that is destruction. Adam Wood gets involved. The 88 of Brandon Wenger there as well. And that is, it looks like a case of someone riding up on the wall and locking themselves up to it. And lock up with the wall causes this incident. Caution number 2 on the night. And trying to get off the wall desperately. It looks like that's the situation at hand. A desperate push to get off the wall leads to caution number 2 on the night. A big shuffle, and that's going to lead to your second yellow. What a big hit, and we're going to take it back once again and take yet another look. How about that wreck? As you can see, once again, here's the 45 machine right in the mix there. And that is a tough pill to swallow. Adam Wood right behind it. And then the hit. And you can see the 45 trying to slide right through it, not able to make it happen. And just delicately tries, but the 05 machine of Dobbs right there, and that's unavoidable no matter how you slice it. And that is the situation at hand, so how about it? 45 machine torn up, the 33 there as well. Brad Patton right behind us. How about we take a look at Brad Patton's perspective and see what happened? As nobody appears to be going down pit road except for just about the entire back segment of the field. So certainly some guys right now trying to make it happen with an alternate strategy up front. Looks like the top 20-odd guys have not gone down pit road, as Patton able to slice right through guys such as the 33 machine and Alan Dobbs. And a big wreck to mix. It looks to be the biggest wreck all night long so far. 2 cautions, one for a multi-car incident, but a much smaller multi-car incident. And then this one, a big one with Alan Dobbs and the like involved with the 33 there. And how about that one? 23 plus minutes worth of repairs for Adam Wood. And that is a big hit, and I do believe that might just be done and done for the winning chances here, because laps at Richmond, no matter how they are short. And that is not necessarily irreparable, but an unfortunate circumstance for the driver of the number 45 machine in Adam Wood, as we have 2 laps to green. What a race it's been so far. 65 in the Pro Pattern Paint 150. We'll get intervals back immediately after this race goes green. As still led by the driver of the number 26 machine, and with Alan Rawell out, I believe, of winning contention. He was actually not involved in that one. My apologies. Rawell able to avoid it. It was guys such as Adam Wood in the 45 who was involved, and including him and the 33. Alan Dobbs there as well, so a lot of great drivers taken out of this one. And unfortunate circumstances, we will head back to green with the second restart of the night. 65 in out of 150. And Brandon Wenger looked to be scored as the 42nd and last driver. So some guys done and done for the night. It looks like damage not going to be enough, or rather, not enough time to get them back on the track due to damage. And that's going to shake everything up immensely. 66 out of 150. It is going to be the driver of the number 26 machine leading them through still, with the 27 of DeBarro right beside him. And Nick Tarabuch could be right there as well in what appears to be the top 5. Getting shuffled back just a bit from Michael Stroll. Now Stroll's up to 4th. And it looks like Terablich now going to be down into 6th as Chuck Sweeting gets into the top 5 for the first time tonight. And it will be Matthew Thunhorse in 3rd. As the pace car gets ready to roll off the track once again. It's already off. Going to visit the damage cars. The green flag is out once again. This time by restart number 2, led by Ethan Lane. We're back underway. 67 laps in, out of 150, we're back underway once again indeed. And double file, they are in the middle of the pack already. We saw some smoke, but that's not going to be a caution. Is everyone able to hold it nice and steady? The wheel is held straight. For a moment, they go down to the back straightaway side by side for position number 2. And they all hold on strong. 67 will become 68 laps out of 150. That time by, Ethan Lane still going to be able to hold on quite nicely as they're double file, almost triple file in the middle of the pack. And coming down to the back straightaway, you can see them more past Ethan Lane there with the borrow. And then the entire field comes running. Side by side, Rob Ackley going to go down to that 3rd lane, but he's not going to be 3 wide, so still has some room to make stuff happen. He's going to be able to use all the room he has to try to get more momentum on that car. As the driver, the number 22 machine, going to be there in the pack with Braxton Luis and Chad Micus, as Luis has been clawing his way from the back of the pack all the way up. And here we take a look at the 15 machine and look at him roll. Rob Ackley, he's in front of him. He's got the driver, the 25 there as well. And Luis making his way up to the battle that is just about in the top 15, top 20, fringe top 15 run for the driver of the 15 machine right now. And we're going to prove that this is far from a fluke. A lot of time to make it so, as Braxton Luis has been pressure from not one line but two, the inside and the outside, pushing his limits right now as they get into the wall big time. That's the 18 machine of Cody Smith getting all the way in it. And he is going to have a lot of trouble holding on to it. That time by goes just a bit lane higher in the middle lane. Still there as we had a caution once again. Lap 70 out of 150. Let's find out just what happened as we see our 3rd caution of the night. And we're trying to find out as it looks like Brandon Bernhardt involved in that one. So let's take a look at Bernhardt and see if that is the cause, because certainly a big incident there as Bernhardt is one of the guys in this mix. So let's take a look and find out why Brandon Bernhardt actually not going to be one of those guys. And we will take a replay and find out if he slowed up for a wreck. And that might just be the circumstance at hand. And that it is. Don Stevenson slows up for one, and it's right behind him. The 32 machine going to get involved there. And let's take a quick look back. What just happened is the 32 going to be side by side with Bernhardt, and Bernhardt gets really lucky here as it's going to be a big slide up, and Bernhardt gets taken for a ride. Casey Shue not involved with that one. Alan Rawell does get stacked up with Justin Morton there as well, and his drivers intersecting with one another as they all get slowed down. Don Stevenson going to have to run right into it, and he is able, thankfully, to slow it down, and we will take a look at it from a wider angle once again. 72 laps in out of 150. And in here we go. Let's take a look once more with Tyler Hensley, is the driver of the number 5 machine, as he was right behind this wreck. And the 32 carries just a bit more momentum in, and Hensley is a car right go into him, and that is going to be a huge hit for damage as Justin Anderson gets right by, and guys get stacked up from there on out. A huge incident with Hensley involved, and it looks like the 43 Rowell going to get stacked up. Justin Morton there as well, and then Don Stevenson able to save himself from much more damage, as it looks like Brandon Bernhardt in the same boat as well gets much better result from that incident as he gets quarter panel tagged, but not a lot of damage. He's just able to save it from hitting the wall even. And you can see guys slowing up. DJ Stagner going to be able to get by Gale Brooks there, and not lucky for the driver of the other 38 according to time and scoring, as Boomer Logan has some right side as well. DJ Stagner has rear end damage as the 81 and 32 go out of pit road at about the same time. Double file. Bernhardt gets the advantage as they both try to beat out the drivers on pit road. And you can see the pace car going to be able to hold off one of those drivers, but now the pace car holds off none. As I do believe Ethan Lane might have just gone down pit road that time by, so going to be a difference in strategy for Ethan Lane among the multitude of drivers in this event. The 26 machine going to be the first of those guys up front to take the new tires, and that new tire gamble, it worked off for Ethan Lane before. Remember Rockingham, with about 10 laps to go, he took that gamble, and he made it just so, as he was able to get that lead on the final lap in the final 2 turns, and eventually come home as the race winner. So he knows a thing or two about making strategy perfect, and tonight we might just be able to do it again as we head down with 1 lap to green once again, and we will get back to the show as we put the ticker back up on your screen with the intervals. As you can see, timing and scoring once more in play. 76 laps to go. Next lap, it will be about the halfway marker, and the cross flags will wave. We head back to the action once again, and it looks like the pace car going to be there as well, the 76 machine, as we are 76 laps to go here at Richmond Raceway, and it will be led by the iRacing pace car. Who else? As we head back, it looks like now, next time by caution, going to get a slight extension there, as it is still held by the driver of the number 27 machine. That's the 8 machine of Nick Tarabuch. Not going to be in the 8 machine of Tarabuch. It's the 29 of Tarabuch is behind the 8 of Matthew Thunhorst. And Michael Stroll now in the 3rd position. The top 3 drivers been up front all race long. And consistency is key. Throughout the first half of this race, we've had only 3 cautions. And now we look forward to the rest. Let's see how many we have from here on out. Certainly hoping to see a long green flag run to exit this race out in style, as the pace car could come back on pit road once again, this time by 75 laps to go. This time through, it will be led by the drivers of the 27 and the 8. We've seen them there before. Green flags out. Big restart for the 27. Back underway. 74 laps to go. We're past halfway here as we head down. It is Michael Stroll in second now. He's going to be able to get a great start there, and it will be the 8 machine losing an awful lot of time as Michael Stroll going to be able to clear the outside line, get that backstretch movement, and keep himself in position to get one done as the 27 holds on with Michael Stroll in second, and then from there on out, guys roll on as 74 remain. We see some smoke on pit road. Not going to be a caution as Ethan Lane now tries to work his way through to get back up to the front of the pack. You can see the front guys going to be able to run away. Johnston there, Michael Stroll in second. Let's take a look at the 26 machine and Ethan Lane, as he was the guy leading this race almost all the way from here on out. Now, he has a bit of trouble able to hold on as he's with Cal Polarski, Forrest Smith, and a few guys blinking in and out there. He goes down to the inside line. Ethan Lane there with the 73, and Forrest Smith right in front of him. 72 remaining now. As you can see, a bit of a flicker there with some guys right in front of him. Forrest Smith holding on strong. Justin Anderson there, and some guys having some server-sided issues. With Ethan Lane able to keep himself up front. Anthony DeBarro still is your race leader with 71 laps remaining. And there you have it, the 27 machine out in front, but Michael Stroll is in second. And let's look at the battle for position number 4 right now. Battle for 4th, it is intense. As we check back on Thunhorst and now Cody Griffin. As Griffin gets in the way here, it's going to be Braxton Louise up at the top 10 for the first time, and Ethan Lane's making a tear here. These guys up there, they are moving strong and able to hold themselves up quite nicely. The 8 machine there with Cody Griffin. Then it's going to be the driver of Tarabuch. Jacob Fife going to be side by side with Louise as they come off the corner just a bit there, and it's going to be a bit of a squirrel, but they're able to hold on with 70 remaining. And now it is about your final moves in strategy. Of course, we could go all the way green from here on out. It is a possibility, but it also isn't all too much of a probability. These guys might not be able to hold on all the way, and if that is the case, and we should still be green here. Black, oh my goodness, and everyone's going to be moving. It's everyone. It is a parking lot here at Richmond. Boomer Logan, everyone goes around, and this is the big one. It's a parking lot like we have never seen, and everyone goes. It is going to be Logan involved, and we would try to get an instant replay, but my goodness, they're still trying to clean this one up. I have never seen the likes of which in all my time on iRacing, and everyone getting on their way. Our apologies, we are a bit slow to make that happen. But what a maneuver there, as this is a huge, huge wreck. And YouTube for a moment said we weren't live. And I'm not sure what's going on. That's a YouTube issue. But man, oh man, as a huge wreck occurs, we get a 50-second instant replay. And check out what just happened. And look at this. Everyone gets stacked up here. Justin Anderson involved, Chuck Sweeting, Brad Patton and the like. Unbelievable as everyone moves into it, and it just looks like it was an incident beforehand that brewed into something worse. And YouTube might have given you the signal that we were not connected there. YouTube's glitching out on us. Our apologies, as this is the parking lot at Richmond, the likes of which we have never seen before, as 90 laps in out of 150. Unbelievable circumstance, and everyone wrecks DJ Stagner there. And by this point, it is a full-on parking lot. Nobody able to get out of this one. And that is unbelievable, and we have never seen anything quite like it. And everyone going to try to get out of it, but that is not going to be the case. A lot of guys are down on pit road right now, and you could see a lot of torn up cars. You can see the driver of the number 29 machine going to be up there. This is Chuck Sweeting's perspective. Of course, Alan Dom's there as well. And undeniably, the biggest wreck we have seen all season long. Brad Patton there, Anthony DeBarro, Cody Smith. They're all coming down pit road right now. And if they aren't coming down pit road, they certainly have some damage, as the parking lot here at Richmond happens 91 laps in out of 150. Ethan Lane still leads, and that is unbelievable. Rob Ackley in second, Brian McFerrin is in third, and we're going to try to dial up a driver on that one, because that is a huge incident, and I can't believe it. That is a major wreck, and we would try to get a word from a guy involved in it, because that is just about the entirety of this field. Rob Ackley going to be in second right now. You can see even he has damage. So we will try to get a word from the man in that second spot, because Ackley, while he has some damage, certainly in a more favorable position, 92 laps in. And we will see how he is feeling about this one, because certainly going to be a debatable topic there. Rob Ackley, one of those guys involved, and he is in second. So we will see how he is feeling about this one, as we make sure we have that live feed up and covered. As coming down to the back straightaway, we will get a word for the man currently in the second spot. And how about that for Rob Ackley, second spot on the board right now, and a huge wreck there. Can you walk us through, because we are not sure what happened. It looks like you have some damage.
Yeah, I got a little bit of nose damage. I thought I had the wreck clear, and then all of a sudden somebody came sliding down in front of me, but it was kind of like a parking lot there. There was really nowhere to go.
And certainly a parking lot it appeared to be right now, 1 lap to green. So how much is that going to impact your strategy going into the remainder of this one? Because certainly going to be a much harder fight than what we've seen beforehand for these guys to make it happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping the damage doesn't affect me. I guess we're going to find out here in about 3/4 of a lap.
And absolutely. Any final thoughts before we get back to the show?
Oh, just hoping we can keep it up here and maybe pull off the top 5.
And there we have it. Rob Ackley, second on the board right now. Thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.
You're going to drag him right back in. Ackley, second on the board with Ethan Lane in that first spot. Let's get ready to rumble here. The parking lot not going to deter these guys. It is here, and it is now the Battle on the Integrity Ignite Series. As we get back into action, led by the driver of the number 26 machine, we will get rolling. Lane's back green, and we are as well. 94 out of 150. The show's back on the road here at Richmond, and it's led off quite nicely, as Ackley's in second, Don Runkle is in third, and Joe Dinsmore is in fourth, as everyone right now holding fort and holding steady as we speak. They're able to hold on double file in the back of the bag right now, and you can see the 95 right there, and Don Runkle. We've not seen him up front all too much now, but these guys all have damage. Look at the gap being pulled by Ethan Lane. He has about a second ahead of the remainder of the field. As you can see, the Tito's 00 as the 21 machine going to go just about around there. Back of the field, they almost get wrecked up there. They're able to save it. As you can see, the 21 almost went around back there. Justin Carey looked to be just about there, as everyone able to hold on as we speak. Michael Stroll in that mix as they hold on 96 laps in out of 150. Side by side up front, Joe Dinsmore is there with Don Runkle. And Don Stevenson now in the 47 going to be able to lead that battle of the Dons, as Stevenson now in the 4th spot with Runkle falling down the running order big time. As we check in on this battle, Runkle plays the strategy quite nicely, gets himself in a position where he can absolutely gain some spots, but it just doesn't happen. And now Runkle, with a bit of damage, maybe a bit more than these other guys, is losing spots very quickly, and now certainly in the risk of losing more, as the 00 going to be up on that high side. And the high side is not where you want to be, as the 00 going to get past that by on the 82. The 82 going to be able to go on the inside line of him that time, and now losing just a bit more. Very hard to be able to hold on there, as we see some smoke once again, and still it's going to be double file, now almost triple file, as they hold on coming down the back straightaway. Johnston there, Jacob Fife in the mix, as now Fife going to be able to go down the inside line. Cody Griffin there as well, in 98 laps in out of 150. 150. They all hold on strong. There's almost 100 laps in this one. They all keep it straight, keep it collected, and all about making yourself a calm driver even if circumstances are not going your way. Let's go right up back to the front of the pack here. It's Rob Ackley going to be fighting there with Ethan Lane. And Lane right now, it might not be much of a fight as he is leading by a wide margin, 100 laps in, out of 150. And Ackley, it looks like that damage will not deter him. He was absolutely involved in that one big time as Joe Dinsmore goes side by side with Matthew Thunhorse. Even if he was involved in that wreck big time, he's able to keep it in a positive light and make sure that his damage does not lose him any position. And might have lost some time on that leader, and Ethan Lane might be able to come home with win number 2 if he's able to hold on from here on out. But he still has a great run going, even if that is the circumstance at hand, as 50 laps remain here in Richmond, and eventually these guys will have to find out where they move it. As you can see, 50 remains. Joe Dinsmore there, Don Stevenson, and Nick Tarabuch going to be in the mix. As you can see, the driver of the 29 machine has Johnston right behind him as they hold on quite nicely. 49 laps remain now, and it is a hard-fought battle here in the Pro Powder and Paint 150 Richmond Raceway, providing the action-packed racing we've been looking for as Johnson goes down to the inside line. Tarabuch going to be there. It's the 18 and 36 side by side as Jacob Fife now sniffs the top 10 with Cody Smith right beside him. Thomas Bresci going to be there as well. 48 laps remaining, and now it's all about the final run. If these guys are able to keep it clean, the numbers they are crunching, the calculations on fuel, they might just have to make them an unbelievable the circumstance that have played out. Jacob Fife going to get oh so close to the battle with Tarabuch there. They hold on straight, and they're able to keep it nice and smooth. 47 laps to go here at Richmond, and they hold on strong. It's coming down to the stripe. They will in just about half lap's time. Back straightaway once again, and the room they have on this back straightaway might be a bit more than the front straightaway. The front straightaway might have a few more lanes, but it is curved, and that might throw a wrench into the equation. When you come up on a curved surface like that, it's a bit harder to handle it, and coming off the turn, hard to explain without onboard, so we will bring the onboard to you. It is a bit more challenging to keep it straight, even if you have nobody around you. Let's watch on board with the driver of Timothy Johnston there. And Johnston in the 82 will show you how he does it as he's got guys right behind him and beside him. As he comes up on the stripe, you can see a bit of a bobble coming on, and they're able to hold on. 45 laps remaining, and it's all about keeping yourself nice and cool even if the circumstance is a bit treacherous, as Stevenson 47 machine now going to be right there in the mix for that top 5 spot. He goes up to the high side once again. He thinks he has it, fakes it up high, going to now try to take it down low, but Jacob Fife is there, so it's all about navigation at the proper time and looking like these guys are able to make that happen as the 36 and 47 hold on to the 29 there as well, and keeping themselves in the mix. That is the way to have it, is Thomas Bresci just outside of this battle for the top 5, and we've talked about Bresci a few times, but not all too much, as he had a great run at Rockingham, keeping it very, very low-key here tonight, as he's now what appears to be just about position number 13. It's just outside that top 12. Blake Gordon going to be right beside him with the target number 48 on target. He's got a nice finish, maybe going to be able to move himself up into the top 10 if this race goes the way it's been, but the 24 trying to delay that target from being hit right now. The 24 able to hold on side by side. They come to the stripe, and the 24 has the edge over the 48. Joe Dinsmore there as well. As it's going to be the 27 of DeBarro right in front. Dinsmore gets a bit of a tap there. Blake Gordon there as well. And now it becomes the question to ask, will these guys be able to hold on as the night goes on? Temperatures not getting all too sweltering, but right now it looks like guys getting a bit more squirrely. Tires might be getting a bit more loose, and certainly while the tires not as much of a factor as we saw that first 50 lap run, guys were able to hold on to it quite nicely. It could be the factor of cars. Damage might just be part of the equation for the first time tonight, and that might be the reason why some guys are falling back, as Blake Gordon falls back just a bit that time through, as it looks like a bit of battling up there with Timothy Johnston, and we will check out that just in a moment here, as Johnston, one of those guys on the move that we've seen all race long, making nice moves at the right time to keep himself in play. Now he has a lot of pressure with Rob Ackley right behind him, and Ackley, your Daytona winner right there, Jacob Fife right behind him. So these guys in the back of this segment of the pack, which is about the top 5, they're there in the back pocket. If Jacob Fife chooses to make that move, which it looks like he will, he's going to go down to the inside on Rob Ackley in the 36 and 22, go double file with 39 laps remaining. Of course, right now, it's not all too crucial. If these guys do go 2 by 2, they can do it. It's not all too dangerous right now. Nobody's going to get a bit too squirrely, get a bit too aggressive over position, but you can see, not going to work out for Ackley, as he might just lose more than 1 spot on that maneuver. The 36 machine going to be almost in the mix there, but now it's now going to be the 22 losing a spot to the 3, then the 29, then the 27, and so on and so forth. And you can see it's a slippery slope of aggression. Of course, you can be aggressive for only a moment there, but then it all comes down to it. If you don't be aggressive for that moment, then you're going to lose not 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, and then some. You'll lose more and more until it's all over. And you can see right now it's coming down to being all over for the driver of the number 22, as he has the 27 right beside him. Thomas Bresci there as well, and side by side they go. At double file, the 24 and the 22, they both are at 36 laps remain. That is the distance to clock this one out, and some of these guys certainly trying to make it there, even if their damage is substantial. Rob Ackley, his damage might just be getting to him here and now. As we saw, he was able to run up front beforehand, but now the persistent damage might be making an impact that we did not see beforehand. And that could be the reason. Ackley, one of those guys, losing more and more time as the night has gone on. Going to take it to a different camera set there. You can see the driver of the 82, Timothy Johnston, going to be able to pull away, as right now the battle up front, not too much of a battle just yet. However, we will take ourselves up there and see what is going on, as Ethan Lane has just lapped Boomer Logan. And Logan going to lose that lap and put him 1 down at the very least there, as the driver, number 94, going to go 1 more down on the count. Not the best race for the driver of Boomer Logan. Certainly hoping to have a better one next week. And right now, certainly hoping to get this one over with, as Ethan Lane out in his own world. Matthew Thunhorse there with Michael Stroll, however. And these guys fighting for second have held on like it's nothing. As 33 laps remaining, Thunhorse still has that edge over Stroll, and you can see Stroll takes a slightly different line entering. But they both come out just about the same on exit. Down the back straightaway, 33 laps remaining. These guys are just about dead even, pulling each other in their own draft, and since they're both so quick, it just seems like they're able to make each other quicker by proxy. 33 remain, and they hold on like it is nothing. A piece of cake for the guys up front, as we check back to the middle of the pack. How we take a look at some guys we haven't seen all too much of tonight. We're going to take a look back at some guys such as Todd Thomas there. And looks like he might be one of those guys side by side. And there was Chuck Sweeting. We hold on, looking at it in just a bit of a static perspective. And here it is, the driver of Todd Thomas there, right behind Don Runkle. Chad Micah's going to be there as well. And Micah's right now double file, but there is a double file right in front of him, a double file battle to say the least. And these two right in front are holding on quite nicely. Braxton DeWeese and Justin Anderson. DeWeese there with now looks to be Trevor Trago, as Trago going to be one of those lap machines they're going to have to hold on and hold right through, as the driver of the 76 machine, and Justin Anderson waiting to pounce on the opportunity. 30 laps remaining, and that opportunity has not yet arrived for a guy like the 76 machines. They all hold on straight and smooth. Ethan Lane still going to be able to lead this field through, as 30 laps remain, and right now looks like these guys are starting to settle into their single file perspectives on this race. Not a lot of movement the way we saw it beforehand. We will continue to look to see what is going on as we look back further in the pack. This is about the second or third pack right now, and you can see some guys with an awful lot of damage trying to hold on. Cal Filarski near one of those guys, and you can see it's actually going to be a nice move for Alan Rawell right there, as they fight for what it looks to be just about position number. Now it looks to be actually just outside the top 30, as we try to get a specific number on that board. Alan Rawell going to be fighting for 31st right now, and they are just about outside that top 30 indeed. Filarski fighting that damaged car, and it looks like Rawell, despite all that damage, is able to hold on like it is nothing. An impressive drive for a driver with a lot of damage to that machine, but it is not putting him at any disadvantage so far, fighting for this battle at the very least, but certainly a setback when it comes to fighting with the upper spots. And right now, the upper spots, somewhat of a pipe dream for a driver with such a trouble and an unfortunate circumstance, as Alan Rawell holding on in position number 31. Let's go back up to the front of the field once again. See see what's going on here, as Cody Griffin right now going to be up there with Nick Tarabuch, and Cody Griffin having a silently great night just inside what looks to be that top 6, top 7 area, and he's been able to hold on to that since the jump. And when he's able to get that jump on the restarts, it just keeps him in a solid position, and that has been his name of the game, having that consistency. It is indeed key. No matter where you are, no matter what it is, you got to face it. If you're not consistent, you won't be able to make it happen. And a driver like that number 3 machine has made it happen lap in, lap out like it's nothing. And it's evident that he will continue to do so as long as he has the power under him. As you can see side by side, Boomer and Logan going to be able to put himself a lap down that time through. And Logan going to lose just a bit more time once again, riding on board with Cody Griffin on the hood camera there. And you can see losing just a bit of time, not what he wants to see, but nonetheless oh so close to greatness here as the driver of that number 3 machine holds on, and he keeps it strong as they now head to 24 laps remaining. Let's check back in on a guy we haven't seen all too much of since the earlier section of the race, Anthony DeBar right behind him, and he's been keeping a nice distance, even if he hasn't been able to lead this race ever since the first 100-odd laps. And in the final 25, now it's going to become 23 laps remaining. Certainly a different landscape, but DeBarro holding on for a solid, nice and smooth top 10 finish. Ethan Lay going to go down to the inside line on Cal Fularski as we come down to 22 laps to go, and you know what that means. 22 to go. We're going to have our great 22 to go. TrackCams22.com. Crank it up. Track cams for Gorman's, the best cameras on the iRacing service, and we will get back to it in due time as we go uninterrupted with a Crank It Up. We will be right back. And as we head back with a total of 16 laps remaining, Ethan Lane is still your race leader and holding off with lap cars such as Alan Rollo, who's going to be able to pass one that time by. And now Lane catching up to lap traffic as we speak, and this makes the race that much more intense. Has to navigate through each and every one of these guys with as much precision as he navigated through the field with the tire strategy that once again worked out. Lane is 2 for 2 on strategy so far in this season. Rockingham able to make it happen with that last second call to get tires, and now it looks like that last caution call to get the tires once again, able to claw back through the field, avoid the parking lot scenario, and eventually keep himself in position and make himself known as what looks to be one of the guys to look out for in this championship. Hearing from Chris DeWeef, one of the fans of the Braxton Weiss machine, the car is very tight for the driver of the number 15, and guys might just be dealing with it. And it's all about effectively dealing with problems under the hood as Anthony Navarro goes side by side with Nick Tarabuch. These guys are fighting right now for what appears to be 7th spot and 13 laps remaining. It's going to be a baker's dozen for these guys to settle it all for each other as they are now heading into what is indeed the final stretch, no matter how you slice it. You can see the final 50 are the final stretch, and we tend to say that, as a matter of fact. When it comes down to it, if you can't manage these final few laps well, you're not going to be able to manage yourself as a race winner. Sometimes strategy is made or blown in the final 10 laps. We've seen it before in real NASCAR. We've seen it before even at Richmond. If you're not able to hold on to the checkered flag drops, you're done and done before it's all over. And with 12 laps to go, the driver of Ethan Lane, he knows that, and he's even able to keep it perfectly consistent as they come up the front straightaway once again. 12 to go here, and we head back to it. 11 now laps remain, and for the driver of the number 26 and Ethan Lane, as the Pro Powder and Paint 150 almost conclude, and this time by, we're that much closer to its conclusion. If you enjoy the action, make sure to like and subscribe. It's always greatly appreciated. A great amount of support on tonight's stream. We thank every single one of you viewers for stopping by, and we truly do hope you enjoy the action as we look forward to presenting once again tomorrow night with the Integrity Octane Series at Daytona. Always a great show there. We check back into the field once again. Boomer Logan there in the number 94 machine. Also looks to be Justin Anderson, and Logan able to hold on right now in what is position 33. So we're checking back in the back of the field indeed, as Braxton Weiss there as well. Now it looks like Logan's actually hanging on to a pack that is on the lead lap, as Braxton Weiss right now is in just about position number 20, and he's dead square in 20th right now, as the Jeff Schmidt number 15 holding on strong in the middle of the pack indeed, just about dead even, as 21st is the dead exact middle of this field, and the middle would be Forrest Smith in the number 84. Right now holding on strong, he is indeed in the 213 similar number 84. Mid-pack race on par, better than half of these guys, maybe not better than the others, but right now a nice points collecting day for the driver of the 84 in Forrest Smith, and it's a nice one to ride home on, especially after the chaos that we saw in that middle stage of this race. The lap 50 to 100 segment, certainly an action-packed one. It might have not been for all the right reasons, but nonetheless, we push on and look up front. How about we check back on the battle in the top 15, as we can see they're side by side. That is going to be Blake Gordon there, and Blake Gordon going to be involved in the side-by-side battle oh so late. And Gordon, an aggressive driver we have seen time and time again, and he's battling right now for the final spot in that top 10. 7 laps to go here for the 48 to be able to make that one happen, as he's got Don Stevenson right behind him, but Chad Cole in the 69 right there, and they go side by side, the 48 and the 69 as they come down to the strike. That time by 6 laps to go here, and next time through it will be the final 5 that these guys have to worry about, as 6 laps to settle it, and they're side by side oh so close, and right now it's all about riding laps out. I'm sure that these guys don't want to wreck, but Blake Gordon now has that spot over Chad Cole, and they have to go through the lap car of Cal Volarski to keep on battling. So now it looks like a bit of a stopgap in their battle as 5 laps remaining, and we see a battle once again. It looks like Cody Smith could be there with Trevor Trago, and Trago side by side with the 18. The 18 has that middle lane, going to be able to part the seas with Rob Ackley there as well, and Ackley, don't count him out. He's on the lead lap, so one of those guys that you have to pay attention to. So now it is all what it takes for some of these guys to be able to make it happen. The driver of the number 22 there as well, Ackley going to be able to hold on with 4 laps remaining. Trevor Trago side by side with the Cody Smith machine, and now it is about crunch time indeed. Calculation of every single move that you can make, and going up high, Cody Smith going to be able to wash up just a bit. Might be waiting for these guys to set it in just a bit too hard, as Trevor Trago still there. Cal Volarski to be in the mix nonetheless, as 1 lap will remain in just due time. 3 laps to go that time by for these guys battling in this pack. Volarski going to slow up on the 18 machine and going to have to get out of the way. The closest battle in this field. This is for 13th if they can get to Ackley, and it's for 14th if Cody Smith can get to Trevor Trago. 13th overall. This battle is indeed for as 2 laps remain here at Richmond, and the show almost out of steam here as we come down to the stripe once again. They keep fighting. Actually going to have Trevor Trago go down to the inside on him, and now they fight once again, but it looks like it's going to be all for naught if Ethan Lane comes down to line this time by, and he does just that. Final lap here at Richmond. The next flag ends at caution or checkers, and it looks like right now everyone riding the hope and dream of this race, and it's a dream for the driver of the number 26 machine. Strategy playing out in his favor once again, and he looks to be the winner once more. It's going to be Ethan Lane, winner of the Pro Powder and Paint 150 here at Richmond. Back-to-back winner, and what a run and what a ride. Lane comes home victorious here at the Action Track in Virginia. What a show, and what a way to do it for Ethan Lane, coming home with a nice and smooth green flag run to get it done. Lane on top of the remainder of the field, and we will get your finishing results on screen. And what a way to do it. Lane on the top of the board, your race winner, the number 26, and he's bringing it down already. The M&M's number 26, rightfully so, celebrating a great finish here at Richmond. He was dominant, and he made all the right moves to convert a pole position to victory here in Virginia.
Integrity wanted to get started. The fun time, a little bit of a show to get everyone caught up on the past week's activities and talk through what's going to happen.
That is all she wrote, done and done for the driver of the number 26, Ethan Lane, putting on a show. And he's already done what is, I believe, the fastest race we've had all season long. And we will get your race results on the screen right about now. And what a show it was. Congrats to number 26 machine. Alan Dart Images says, and way to hang on there for the 15 of Braxton DeWeese. Way to hang on for everyone. And the long run comes to an end. Let's check out your race results before we get your interviewees here tonight. What a great one. As we get back to the action, Ethan Lane in the 26, winning over Matthew Thunhorse by 1.6 seconds, and Michael Stroll in third. Jacob Fife comes home in fourth, and Timothy Johnston rounds out your top five with Cody Griffin in sixth, Anthony DeBarro in seventh, and Nick Tarabuch in eighth, as Thomas Bresci rounds out in the ninth position, and Blake Gordon is in 10th. Then, Chad Cole 11th, Don Stevenson is in 12th, Trevor Drago in 13th, as Rob Ackley's in 14th, Cody Smith is in 15th, and Joe Dinsmore's in 16th, as it's going to be Chuck Sweeting 17th, and Brad Patton in position number 18. Braxton Louise comes home 19th, and Brandon Bernhardt comes home in 20th. As from there on out, we see drivers such as Forrest Smith, Kyle Cooper, Tyler Hensley, Justin Anderson, Casey Shute, Todd Thomas, and TJ Stagner, as Chad Mikas is the first driver one lap down with Daniel Foss and Don Runkle Jr. there as well. Stick around for interviews, by the way. You won't want to miss them, as Brian McFerrin is 31st. Then Alan Rawell, Gail Brooks, Cal Filarski, Justin Morton, Justin Carey, Alan Dobbs, Shane Ebing, Boomer Logan, Jonathan Girvin, and then the final drivers, the final two, Adam Wood and Brandon Wenjard, caught up in the first major incident of the night. So how about we get in the driver who got this one done in style, Ethan Lane, your race winner. And let's get a word from the man who is able to get this one done on top. How about that? Let's get it in, because a race to remember for the guys up front. Ethan Lane, certainly one of those guys who will remember coming home as the victor in tonight's event. Ethan Lane, number 26 machine, on top once again, back-to-back winner here at Richmond, able to get it done. What was the key to your success?
I'm not gonna sound egotistical, but it was mainly just clean air and then making the right strategy call when we needed it to.
DIR's teammate Rob Ackley.
And strategy played a major part of this race, like Rockingham. So what was it about that final caution where you were able to come home on pit road? It wasn't the last caution of the race, but the last time you went down pit road. What caused you to feel like that was the right move? And eventually, what led you to believe, of course, that it was? And that's what got you here. So what really was the reason to have that move happen?
I felt like the way the race was going, like we were going to need fuel either way. So I gave up stage points to come in and get the tires, get the fuel, and then if it went green, we were set. If it didn't, like if we got that 5-lap run, like I'm pretty sure I knew we would, we did, that everyone else would come in because they saw how fast fresh tires was. And it just worked out for us in the end.
and absolutely just able to work it out no matter how it came down to it. So we saw some long runs, saw some short runs as well. How did you feel your car was prepared for the longer and the shorter, as we saw a mix of both as the night went on?
I think we were good on both. That first run, we were just kind of taking it easy, letting the track rubber in a little bit more. Once that did, we were really solid out throughout the whole night on either short or long runs, and we kind of like go as we needed to.
So, Gael, how did your
And certainly seemed like you were able to push it when needed. Was there any time where you felt that lead was in jeopardy? Because we saw you battle earlier in the race with Anthony Navarro, but otherwise it seemed like it was smooth sailing. Besides the time you had to go through the pack.
No, I would like maybe like 20 laps into the first run where Anthony and I were kind of staying even as we started pulling away from everyone. I thought he was gonna be able to hang on a little bit longer than what he did. We just kind of found a line that really worked for us that I didn't see anyone else running. That's kind of what helped us there.
And absolutely able to help you, and it looks like everything came together, those stars aligning once again, and you come home as the race winner. So how about that? Able to get it done in style. Next race going to be Atlanta Motor Speedway with the 2008 configuration. So how do you feel going into that one as we head on to what will be the MC Squared Editing Services leading the way 434-kilometer event?
It'll be interesting. The way Atlanta is right now, you can wear your tires out a lot. And if you don't, you are going to be like probably about a second and a half off pace after a long run. But if you run it right, you should be able to almost get full throttle corner exit. But it'll be an interesting race depending on like the type of weather we have for sure.
And absolutely looking forward to an interesting race. Ethan Lane, any final thoughts coming home as your race winner?
Just want to thank y'all for putting on the show and for everyone putting on the league who runs it.
And there we have it, coming home on top. Ethan Lane winning tonight's event, the Pro Powder and Paint 150. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
We're going to drag him right back in as we get the second position driver, the 8 machine, in Matthew Thunhorst, able to come home in that runner-up spot. So Thunhorst, position number 2 on the night. How do you feel after this one?
Like a quick early yellow or something
David,
like that. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get some fuel.
That was
be a little bit off strategy,
pretty intense race there, to put it lightly.
Just further than them.
It was pretty smooth race, and then the whole thing with the cautions right in the middle and kind of getting involved around all those accidents and everything was
before I decided
more excitement than I paid for.
I literally popped out.
Absolutely a very exciting night with incidents and also a lot of strategy. So what was the key factor in getting you up front? Because you had a lot of pace as the night went on, but eventually it seemed like it could have been anyone's guess to get up front. You were able to get back front once again. So how was it, and how did the consistency provide you the opportunity to get up front once more?
Sit here and ride, and so I was
kind of once we had that split in strategy, because I was more worried about trying to get the stage points there, and so that's what kind of set me off a little bit from what some of the other guys were doing up front. And I just kind of got really fortunate when we had that huge track blockage that a lot of people were really aware there, and so we didn't have I didn't get piled into there. And then just whenever Barrow got hit beneath me, he did a really good job to save it, and that kind of gave me an opportunity after gaining spots with the choose cone to kind of be able to pick my way up through the pack and get to the bottom. And at that point I was just kind of focused more on, because I figured Lane was gone. I mean, he had been better at saving tires than me all night, so I was just racing more against Stroll, and I knew he had been a little aggressive on his stuff, so I was just trying to stay in front of him, and I was able to accomplish that and get through the guys. At that point, it was just managing my race, and the lap cars teased me a little bit there, because I think Ethan didn't want to kind of deal with that big old pack, and I was able to gain a little bit of time there, but I just ran out of laps to kind of do anything if I even would have had a shot at him. But just considering kind of how the night went and how it could have gone, I'll take second place, and maybe I'll get lucky and extend my points lead a little bit, or we'll have to see. But kind of excited about how everything went down for me. So good night overall.
And certainly a good night to keep yourself in the championship hunt. So when you come down to it, you're able to deal with those lap traffic machines as well. But it looks like Ethan Lane just able to pull away. So when we go back to the beginning of the race, the first about 50-lap long run, how was it about getting that car situated? Because it seems like guys who were able to succeed in that run came home on top at the end of the night.
obviously, like you mentioned.
Yeah, really the big thing for me was just kind of learning how to save the tires, because when I was running per laps in practice, I was feeling really tight and too. So I just kind of took some lessons I learned from Rockingham and just tried to roll the center, not carry too much speed, and melt the right front off of her, and was able to take lessons learned from that one and just kind of take that forth, and just kind of got lucky that some of the other guys that were really good up there with me, like I think Chuck Sweeney and Anthony DeBarro, just kind of got caught up in things and was allowing me to get away from them. So just kind of making sure to keep the tires on it, because I mean you can haul just really go really fast for about 15-20 laps in these things, and then you're just going to pay for the next like 50 or 60. So it's just continuing to learn that lesson and kind of figure out how I can get better at it, because I mean obviously tonight proved I wasn't as good as I needed to be to get the W, but you know, hey, got a third last week, got a second this week, and so we'll see if we can continue doing that. And not sure where we're at next week, but hope to put on another strong run there.
Now, when it comes to where we are next week, that will be Atlanta, and that will be about a 262-mile event with the original configuration of Atlanta. So how do you feel going to that?
You know, I'm a short track guy, and I got a lot of experience doing like the ARCA cars on short tracks and super late models, so the mile and a half are always my Achilles heel. So if we can just stay, you know, top 15, top 10 there all day and just kind of bring it home on what I argue is my weakest kind of track configuration, you know, just I'll be happy with that. But you know, if we can squeak out like another top 5 or something, I'll be just pleased as punch with that and just take what I can get out of it.
And absolutely looking to take what he can get. Matthew Thonor, second on the board tonight. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, David, I want to thank all the admins and all the guys that raced tonight. I feel like we put on a good race, despite, you know, there being a little bit of carnage, but I think there was just enough that added a little bit of spice that everybody got caught up in the doldrums of the yellow fever. So, you know, just want to thank the sponsors. Oh, you're going to have to help me out, but I'm not sure who the sponsor is for this one. And real quick, I want to thank you all at Fireball Talks for broadcasting this, and just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and hope they enjoyed, and hopefully we'll see them next week.
And absolutely going to hope to see them next week, and hope to see you once again up front next week. Matthew Thonor, second to the board. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Good, drag them right back in and get this show on the road. Get your third position driver, and that is Michael Stroll. Rounding out the podium, the 38 machine is, and how about that? Final driver on the podium, and Michael Stroll comes home in that position. We'll get about a minute of B-roll there, just get him back on the track from your perspective. But still coming home with a great spot. Michael Stroll, third position tonight, rounding out the podium. How about that? How do you feel? A great race for you, coming home in third.
Feel pretty good tonight. You know, Richmond's always kind of hit or miss for me. You know, those flat tracks are really tough, and I was struggling there at the end. But it's a good night for the AC Delco machine. Ethan had the field covered, and it's another solid top 5. You know, being consistent and getting and positioning myself in the top 16 for the clash is what we call it here. Just kind of keep on trucking. I think we got Atlanta next week, and just keep on rolling. Hopefully I can get a win here somewhere. If luck falls my way, but solid night. Proud of the guys, you know, in the league. You know, we started off with a nice long 50-lap run, got a little shaky in the middle, and we capped it off with, I think, a good 60-lap run. So pretty proud of that at Richmond with a full field.
And certainly a lot of drivers able to come home for this event, but still, you're one of the guys who came up on the top side of it. So what was the key to the success here tonight?
Just saving tire and knowing when and when not to be aggressive, and just a little bit of luck. You know, I got really lucky when that big wreck happened off of 4. I squeaked through the end of pit wall on the apron there. There was barely enough room for me to fit by, and just choosing the right lanes. You know, just a little strategy and having a cautious fall your way. Not fast enough. I felt like I was about 6th fastest, and I went to top 5 and come home on the podium. So I can't really complain too much.
And certainly able to get it done, even if you said a lot of tight competition tonight. And tire strategy, a very important part of this one. So how was it for you deciding which times to come down a pit road and take a caution, or rather take the tires under caution, and which times you didn't? What was the deciding factor there?
Well, I mean, a lot of it is to see who does what in front of you. You know, right there before halfway, I know Ethan pitted, and he gave up the a playoff point. And you know, as him being the fastest guy, we want to put him in the back, and you know, he didn't stay back there long. And I wished right there, that run would have went to maybe lap 100 before we pitted again, but I had to pit a little sooner before that. But and then, just navigating the traffic and avoiding the wrecks, and like I said, a little bit of luck goes a long way. So solid top 5. Not much more to say.
And how about that? A solid top 5 indeed is the next race we are heading to. It will be Atlanta. So what are your thoughts as we go into that?
Another tough track. I told some of the guys that I didn't realize when we were making the schedule that I made the first part of the season, or we made the first part of the season a little tough. Daytona's a crapshoot. Then you had Rockingham, which is tough. This track's kind of tough, and Atlanta is another cheese grater. So, I look forward to just get another solid run. Hopefully, we pull out a win for the guys, and just move it along.
And absolutely moving along, Michael Stroll coming home, the final driver on the podium, 3rd place tonight. Any final thoughts?
Nope. Just want to thank my teammates, everybody at the IR, keeping a level head, and pretty proud of the league. Hope we put on a good show for you guys here at FTN. Don't forget, tomorrow is our second series. They open at Daytona tomorrow night for our Octane series. So hopefully everyone that's watching tonight, tune into that. It should be a good one. And that's all. I'm about to go to bed.
There we have it, Michael Stroll rounding at the podium once again up front, 3rd place on the night. Thank you for your time.
Later.
There we have it. That's going to be Michael Stroll, and that is the final driver on the podium for tonight's show. Thank you all once again for watching as we see Stroll there as Ethan Lane comes home a back-to-back race winner. How about that for him? As we will send this one off, and indeed we will be back live once more tomorrow night with the Integrity Octane Series. We hope to see you all there for the season opener, and I believe that will be the Pro Powder and Paint 250. Same sponsor, 100 more miles on the board at Daytona, and we hope to see you all there watching a great race at the World Center of Racing. Where else? As we get the season kicked off there. Thank you all for watching tonight. We hope you enjoyed. David Kreutz on the booth, and we hope you see us once more live on FTN tomorrow night, as we hope to see you there as well. Thank you all for watching tonight, and we hope you had a great time watching. And we'll be back once more in due time. I hope to see you all there whenever we're live on FTN.
Boomer, and I'm ahead of Jacob there in the points. So just putting it out there. So I was actually P2.
Yeah, Jacob's actually Jacob's only 2 points off the cutoff right now for the top 16. So as of today, Jacob doesn't make the playoffs, and the rest of us here do. Save for Cal, who'll be joining in a moment. He's down.